Right, some massive breaking news has just come out recently. So finally, the ICJ have finally called out Israel's occupation, calling it illegal. 75 years too late, in my opinion, or in a factual opinion for that matter. And also, on top of that, Labour are now going to put more funding to UNRWA again. Going to restart that again for Palestine. So let's go through this. UN top court says Israeli occupation of Palestine territories is illegal. You're damn right it's illegal. Why did it take so long to say this? The UN's top court has said Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories is against international law in a landmark opinion. A landmark fact, for that matter. The International Court of Justice, ICJ, said Israel should stop settlement activity in the occupied West Bank and East Jerusalem, and Gaza for that matter it should be, and everywhere else, and end its illegal occupation of those areas and the Gaza Strip as soon as possible. Yeah, it's all illegal. The whole fucking all the areas is illegal. In response, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the court had made a decision of lies. Yeah, of course you'd say that. You're the big liar. Israel as a whole is a big lie. And you need to be arrested and bring to The Hague, as with the whole IDF. The court's advisory opinion is not legally binding. It should be legally binding, but still carries significant political weight. It marks the first time that ICJ has delivered a position on the legality of a 57-year occupation. So I'm guessing that's to do with the 1967 borders, rather than 1948. Yeah, the ICJ, based at The Hague in the Netherlands, has been examining the issue since the beginning of last year, at the request of the UN General Assembly. So at the beginning of last year, so that's before October 7th, was it? Should have been long before that. The court was specifically asked to give its view on Israel's policies and practices towards Palestinians and on the legal status of the occupation. Delivering the court's findings, ICJ President Nawaf Salam, I don't know, the ciphers have said that wrong, said it had found that Israel's continued presence in the occupied Palestinian territory is illegal. Of course it's illegal. The state of Israel is under the obligation to bring an end to its unlawful presence in the occupied Palestinian territory as rapidly as possible. Yeah, stop it and let the Palestinians move back in again. Free Palestine. He said Israel's withdrawal from the Gaza Strip in 2005 did not bring Israel's occupation of that area to an end, because it still exercises effective control over it. No, yeah, Palestine should have full control. The court also said Israel should evacuate all of its settlers from the West Bank and East Jerusalem and Gaza, and pay reparations to Palestinians for damages caused by the occupation. It's too late for that, I think. But yeah. Israel has built around 160 settlements and the rest, housing some 700,000 Jews in the West Bank and East Jerusalem since 1967. I think it's a lot more than that. The court said settlements was illegal. Israel has consistently disputed that they are against international law. They are against international law. Of course, we can dispute it because it's all out. What's it called? What's that term called? The victim blaming. I can't remember what it's called now. There's a term for victim blaming. Anyway. The ICJ said Israel's policies and practices amount to annexation of a large part of the occupation Palestinian territory, which it said was against international law, adding that Israel was not entitled to sovereignty over a part of its occupied territories. Israel claimed sovereignty over the whole of Jerusalem, which they shouldn't, the eastern half of which it captured in the 1967 Middle East War. It considers the city its indivisible capital. Yeah, of course it do. Something which is not accepted by the vast majority of the international community. Among its other far-reaching conclusions, the court said Israeli restrictions on Palestinians in the occupied territories constituted systemic discrimination based on inter alia, race, religion, or ethnic origin. It also said that Israel had illegally exploited the Palestinians' natural resources and violated their right to self-determination, because they cut enough food and water and everything, which Keir Starmer says they have a right to do that. The court also advised states to avoid any actions, including providing aid or assistance that would maintain the current situation. Like stop arms to Israel and that. Sanctions. Israel's Prime Minister swiftly issued a blunt statement rejecting what the court had determined. The Jewish people are not occupiers of their own land. It's not the Jewish people, it's Israel. Not in our eternal capital, Jerusalem, eternal capital, nor in our ancestral heritage of Judea and Samaria, or West Bank, Mr. Netanyahu said in the statement. No decision of lies in The Hague will distort the historical truth. And similarly, the illegality of Israeli settlements in all parts of the homeland cannot be disputed. It's Palestinians' homeland. But the court's findings were welcome by the Palestinians, as they should. Hussein al-Sheikh, the Secretary General of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, the Palestinians' main umbrella group, called it a historic victory for the rights of the Palestinian people and the right to self-determination, as it should. And more countries need to recognise Palestine as an independent country, like the UK and the US, for example. And the collapse and defeat of a Judaization, that's a bit of a weird word, project through confiscation, settlement, displacement, and racist practices against the people under occupation. The international community must respect the opinion of international justice and force Israel to end its occupation of the Palestinian territories, he said. The court's findings will now go to the UN General Assembly, which will decide how to respond, including the option of adopting resolution. That would be significant and could constitute a catalyst for negotiations and set the legality parameters for a future negotiated settlement. The case is separate from another active case brought to ICJ by South Africa, accusing Israel of committing genocide against the Palestinians in the war in Gaza. So this is brilliant news. But it's Palestine, This should have been done a long time ago. And now, the ICJ, ICC needs to get an arrest warrant, get Netanyahu, get Ben Gvir, get all the IDF, call them out for what they are, the complete terrorists, free Palestine. And that term, we've heard it before, where it's an actual term where if someone's victim blaming, they're trying to make it, they're the ones, other countries, everyone else is guilty but themselves. But I can't remember what the term is called now. Anyway, I'll probably look it up. Anyway, so that's the news today. So this is brilliant news. So free Palestine.